Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Wilters. I'm originally from Haiti. I've been in the banking industry for about 10 years. With Bank of Montreal for about a year and 8 months now. As a relationship manager, what I do, I've worked with commercial banking needs. So if you have a business, you need financing, anything that would help your business work, that would have to be me. Not Hasna, not Fatiha, who's with me, who's also from Bank of Montreal, but that would be me. But today is not me trying to have you to bring your business over to Bank of Montreal. Is me trying to tell the future of our generation, especially the future of our community, the importance of financial literacy or financial management. What I realize is financial struggles is a big thing in our community. For example, right now there are many opportunities for black entrepreneurs, for people brown collars, but unfortunately we cannot take opportunities of most of them. Reason being is a credit problem, right? I have a little things that I found this morning, and I said I'll bring it to share something with you guys. I don't know, some of you can remember what that is. That's an iPhone. Yeah. It's a 3GS that I had that in 2008. Why did I bring it to you today? In 2008, that was, what's the latest iPhone that's out right now?
14.
14? Okay, that would have been that. That would have been that right now. So in 2008, I wanted to have the iPhone. So I went to Fido. The guy who wanted to sell didn't ask me anything. So he signed up and gave me an iPhone. I had 100 minutes outgoing and incoming calls. And after that, 5 o'clock, after 5, you can talk. But before 5, anytime you talk, they charge you. I had 500 megabytes internet, not gigabytes, 500. So a video of 2 minutes is gone. I was working as a security guard back then, night shift. YouTube just started. So what I'd be doing is watching video at night, and then my friends would be calling me. So schedule all calls after 5. The next thing I know, I received my first bill. It was $250. So I said, okay. They called me like, I was late. I didn't pay it. So they called me and said, well, Mr. Wilters, you gotta pay that. I said, well, next pay, I'll pay it. I took an arrangement. I didn't respect it. Okay? So next month, 300 something. So I had a bill of like almost $700 for 2 months. Okay? And then now they cut my phone off. I didn't have a phone. And then I said, you know what? For me to pay it back, you have to activate it because I need to receive calls for me to be able to go to work because I work as a security agent. I'm on calls. They say, okay, we're gonna only do one exception for the month and that's it. I have an exception. So my phone bill was like up to $1,000 after 3 months. I didn't pay anything of it. You already can guess what happened. It went to collection. What does that mean? When you miss the first 30 days payment, they will report it on your credit bureau as first 30 days. You have 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. After 90 days, it's a very bad debt, right? So 90 days, I didn't pay. So collection tried to take an arrangement with me. I was at school. I was getting like probably $500 in loan and bursary. Could barely pay my rent. I didn't pay that. Then when I tried to get a job at TD Bank, they had to run a credit check on me. Then boom, I thought that was behind me. I didn't know because nobody told me about credit, right? They told me, well, we cannot hire you because you are financially delinquent. I said, what does that mean? I said, I'm not a delinquent. I've never sold drugs. I've not, They said, well, we cannot. because you've had something in collection that has been there, sitting there for about 4 years, and you never pay it. How can we trust you with money? You're gonna be working in a bank. I said, my goodness, I needed that job. I needed it. And I was like, okay, I called the guy from the hiring department. I said, well, is there anything that I can do to fix this? I'm sorry. They said, sir, you didn't pay 60 days. 90 days. It's like, it's like, you know what? This is a worst waiting you could have. So we cannot do that. And then I said, you know what? Please give me the opportunity. I'm gonna pay it off, and I'll make sure that never happened to me again. He said, you know, I'll speak to my manager about it, and I'll let you know. And they came back to me and said, you know what? If you can pay it in full, we'll give you the exception. I didn't have money, so I went to someone and trying to talk to them again, took credit from them, and then they paid for me on a credit card. And then I sent it back to them. I'm a believer. I ended up going to church like almost every Sunday saying, God, if you give me that job, I'll give you the first paycheck. If you give me that job, I'll make sure that I pay my tithe, my offering. And they called me back and said, you know what? We'll give it to you. So what I realized is that I didn't have the education for somebody to tell me, you know what? If you do not need that cell phone, don't take it. You don't have to have the latest cell phone out there. As I said, back then it was it. Now it's the iPhone 14 Pro, right? So for the youth who's listening to me right now, at 16, 17 years old, right, it looks cool to have the iPhone, the sneakers, you know, the branding, and you know, you're wearing it. But at the same time, know that there are financial consequences. So that lesson turned around things for me. It makes me understand what credit is. We all need credit. In order for you, unless you have billions, but if you have billions, you want to invest billions, you're still gonna need credit. If you have millions, you want to invest millions, you're gonna need credit. So I want you to know, and I know this is something that is destroying our community. For example, there are people who force themselves, who work very hard. They have good jobs. They work, they have the down payment, but they cannot qualify for a mortgage. Because of what? Because credit. We have the credit card. For example, I know one of my cousins who took a credit card at 18 years old. She went to the bank at 18 years old. If your kids have about $200 in a saving account, they never touch it. Most of the bank will pre-approve them for a $500 credit card as soon as they turn 18, if they never use it, because the bank want to see it. So once they pre-approve, then they go to the bank, they tell them you are pre-approved. What does that mean? You don't have to ask for it, it's already approved, we'll give it to you. Now, in our community, sometimes mama and papa doesn't want you to get a credit card. What they do, since they want the credit card to get the iPhone, they'll take the credit card, go to Rogers and Fido, buy that phone, and then throw it away. When they receive the bill, they don't look at it. Shh, garbage. And then before you know it, 18 years old, went through collection, so 6 years. Whenever it's in collection, it's gonna stay there for 6 years. Pay it or not. If you pay it, of course it's gonna have a lesser negative on it, but it's gonna stay there. So by the time that kid go to college, university, they finish, they are 24 years old. So they are ready to start their life. But they have a credit problem that will hinder them from achieving those goals. So which is, you know, the reason I say sometimes, you know, we who are believers, instead of praying for credit miracle, let's just work it smart. Then we can ask God to heal cancer and all this stuff instead of just praying for a house. Because those are like, you know, things that once we work with the system, we don't have to beg, we don't have to ask for it. We just go and say, you know what, this is what the will say. I'm able to service the debt. I have the credit, then give it to me. Then instead of saying, okay, well, you have to justify saying, okay, well, I didn't pay this because of that. So that's, in credit, we have something called rational. Whenever something negative is there, you have to have a rational why it's there and why then, it makes sense for them to accept it. And so we don't have to do all that. So it's very important, as I say, like, you guys, I used to be sitting in places where they used to say, I am the future of my generation. But those of you who are listening, you guys are really the future of our generation. And if I had one person to tell me I should make sure that if I cannot pay that iPhone, to not take it. If I cannot pay the $250, take the one that will cost me $50. Then I could save probably that $100 extra that I have. Then instead of trying to fix my credit at 24, then I would have probably $7,000, $8,000, and I could go to my parents to take the other half to invest in the property. All right? So that's what I want you guys to understand today. And I know it's not only the youth, it's also the adult, right? Because sometimes we came here, we didn't have somebody to walk us through the system. I'm from Haiti, and Haiti, like, for you to have credit, you need to be one of the people that we call the bourgeois. Otherwise, we don't have that. And we have something called sol that is destroying our community too. Well, it's good, but and it takes somebody from your community to understand that. For example, you're working, so we 20 of us or 30 of us put together. We say, okay, you know what? Every 2 weeks, susu. Every 2 weeks you put 250. Then today it's your turn, you got 20K. Tomorrow's turn, you got 20K. But what usually happens is, I realize that in the community, if I have a credit card, instead of paying the minimum required payment, which is usually $10 plus interest, I'll say, you know what? Next week will be my turn to receive my susu money. I'm gonna miss the payment. And then, I have a balance of 5,000. Instead of just giving them 200, I'll give them the 5,000. They'll see that I'm paying my things. But the system doesn't work like that. Your minimum payment has to be made. If the minimum payment is made on time, then it shows you are credit worthy, what they call credit worthiness. So they come and see you never have a late payment, you have nothing in collection, it's clean sheet credit. But who cares even if, let's say, you have the susu, then you miss 3 payments, so you have an R9, and all of a sudden you pay your credit card $20,000 balance. So you have to justify those 3 late payments. So that's why I want you, like, whether you are, you're just starting in life, whether you are, like struggling with credit, it's important for us to know that. And also in our community, we try to impress. I was a mortgage director at the at TD Bank. And I had a little Nissan Sentra that was paid off. Nothing owed on it. And I saw, when I was going to meetings, I saw my friends was coming on Range Rover, Audi, and Infiniti. I said, oh, what's that? And I heard my muffler was clacking under the car. I said, you know what? I went to a car dealership. I traded my little Nissan. And then I took a car that cost me $600 a month. And I looked at it, I said to myself, well, why did I do that? And then boom, the pandemic happened. They said you didn't have to drive to people's house anymore. So the car was in my driveway. I was paying $600 a month, which was like, I wanted to go, like, if I'm meeting a client in Westmount, I wanted to show them that I have a luxury car. But it was there. I didn't have to meet people anymore. All the document was being signed virtually. So I tried to impress people, but at the end of the day, I put a burden on me. Instead of saving $600 a month, that could be $7,200 a year to take care of my kids if I wanted to travel, then I bring another expense to myself. And I cannot get rid of it so easy right now. Even if I want to sell it, the car depreciates. But when you buy a vehicle, it's not increasing in value. As soon as they always say, if you get a car out of a dealership today, you bring it back tomorrow, you're gonna lose money on it. And they usually don't want it to. They'll give you all the excuses in the world. So it's very, very important for us black people. I'm black, I can say that. People of our community. The statistics say that our credit score is the lowest. When you take black, Asian, Hispanic, Caucasian, black people credit score are the lowest. We need to change that. We cannot keep living like this. And instead of asking the bank or the financial institution to come to us, or instead of us going to them trying to explain to them the reason why they should give us some stuff, they should be coming to us at a point they say, you know what? We see this. We see the improvement. You guys now deserve this. But one thing that I'm always saying to when I have the opportunity to meet with community leaders in my community, I tell them I'm worried. The reason why I'm worried right now, there are so many opportunities that the financial industry, are offering to us, but we cannot take advantage of them because the net worth is not there, the credit is not there, and 5 years from now or 10 years from now, I'm afraid that they're gonna say, you know what? We opened the doors to you guys, but you just didn't walk through. And it's gonna be coming back and haunt us. So it's my responsibility, your responsibility as a leader, to make sure that we educate the youth and educate the people so that people understand, you know what, we have to start making smarter decisions. Instead of consuming, then let's consume a little less and invest a little more. Then once we start doing that, because you hear a lot of people, like on the internet, if you just Google black generational wealth transfer, it's trending. But how can we transfer wealth if we don't have it? And wealth building, it starts with credit. Because I'll give you an example. If you have good credit, for example, if you have excellent credit, you have $2,000 in the bank, you never use it. Can guarantee you that bank will offer you a line of credit. A line of credit, it's not attached, it's unsecured. A line of credit for $15,000, $20,000, right? So that's not attached to anything. That's not your money. You have excellent credit, right? That $20,000, not supposed to, but sometimes there are people who will take it, who will use it as the down payment on the first house. What they will do is take a cash back. Some bank do it. Some bank give you a cash back based on the property. They'll give you 5% on it. So you use 5% minimum required for a down payment. And then when you go to the notary, you get your 5% back and you replace it. Boom. First house with no money. So I see Miss Gemma is telling me to stop talking. This is something you can see. I'm passionate about this. So I'm gonna stop. But I urge you guys, you who's coming, people like you, still young, take, parents, don't, especially parents from our community, listen, don't make the kids feel like credit is evil. Credit is good, it's important, and we need to build it. Just give them the education so they know. Am I allowed to answer a question, gentlemen? Because his hands is up. No, I don't want to be...
Where till I Tell us a good credit score.
I'm sorry?
Like, what's a good credit score to start? What would you consider good credit score? 7 up, 6?
They say a 680 and above is considered a great credit score.
Yes.
680 and above.
Well, one of the things that, and I deal with credit before as a part of credit bureau, but it's important, and you make a good point, that credit is better than money in the bank. Because if you go and buy a house for 400,000, you don't have the money, and you got good credit, the bank going to give you at least 300-400.
Yes.
So only show you that because you have a good credit, and they know that you can service the loan because of your credit and your income.
Yep.
So it's so important to let the youth know that credit and a good credit score is the key.
That's it. Credit is king.
Yeah.
On his power.
Yeah. Good
You
term.
got it.
That's a good term to use.
All right.